Well, it is Wednesday. Nice day out. It's going to be 50 today. It's sunny. It's nice. I've got my coffee here. I couldn't remember. I got a little breakfast sandwich from Quick Trip, and I couldn't remember if it was a croissant that I liked or the egg muffin thing. It was the one I didn't buy. That one is the one. So remember that for next time. And I just recently joined a Facebook group with gold wings, and it's kind of weird because everybody shows pictures of their gold wing. Well, if you've seen one gold wing, you've basically seen them all. I mean, they're nice bikes and everything. I love them, but you know, they're all the same, which kind of brings up an interesting point. You know, if you think about it, because we are all fashion girls in the fashion world, look at how much emphasis we put on how things look. You know, if you think back, the Volkswagen Beetle was the same for, I don't know, 200 or 300 years. They never changed it. Every year it was this bug-shaped thing. And then they went to the Super Beetle, which had different lights, and it was 1/4 of an inch bigger. But otherwise, look at the money they saved in retooling. Every year they just stamp out the same thing, and then they make minor adjustments, improvements, probably mechanical and maybe some interior cosmetic things. But you know, the same holds true for the gold wings. I mean, they went from usually 10-year stretches is what they go, where they don't really change anything. And you know, like the 2001 to 2005 are basically all the same. And then in 6, they changed the dash and, you know, the radiators, and mainly the fans are bigger. The fans are bigger. That's a big thing. So they made some improvements, but basically it's the same. I've got the 2003 here. I've got a 2008. Personally, I like the 2003 better. I don't like the 2006 onward as well. Anyway, I mean, think how smart that is. You make basically no changes to the motor. I mean, the motors, there must be an internal change, because I know the transmissions in the 2008s, they make some noise that none of the other ones make. So there's something different there, but just think about it. You know, you just stamp out the same machine every year, and you know, the retooling costs are much lower. And you look at the way our automotive industry, especially here in the United States, I mean, every year you have to have all new models and everything has to change. And they spend, as soon as they get into production, they're already designing next year's. I mean, just look at all the money they spent just to give you a little bit different look. You know, if everybody adopted the philosophy of changing every 10 years, you know, that would probably lower the prices of cars, or not. Anyway, that's just something that, you know, you think about these things as you're dinging around here. But there is a really good book. I read quite a bit, mainly audiobooks. I've been in an audiobook club for 10 years now. So every month I read at least one book. One of the very first ones I did was, I think it was called Rebuilding. And it was written by, I can't think of the guy's name. I'll put it in the video. But anyway, he was the guy who actually orchestrated the whole General Motors auto industry. Well, it was actually all the automotive industries for the bailout. And it was kind of funny because Obama had told him, whatever you do, we do not want to own a car company. So do whatever you have to, but we do not want to own a car company. And in the end, the American people, I believe, we had 60% of the company. But there is a really good reason for that. And if you read the book, and you know accounting, how accounting works, there was really no way. You can't bail out a company like that without becoming a partner. So it was really interesting. It was a really good book. It talked about the arrogance of the executives and the way they were handled, and all the decisions they had to make, and why they had to help them out and not let them fail. And very good book. But it's called Rebuilding. If you are interested, you know, that'd be something I would recommend as far as something to read. Another really good book is Riding the American Dream, which was written by a friend of mine who, if you notice, I have Excelsior Henderson stuff all over my shop. He was the CEO, CFO of Excelsior Henderson, and he was one of the founders, one of the three. It was him and his brother and his sister-in-law actually started Excelsior Henderson. And so he wrote a book about, you know, the rise of Excelsior and the downfall, which ties in with another book, which was the Preston Tucker book about the Tucker automobile. They're both very similar, very, very parallel in the way things happen. But I would recommend, you know, if you're a reader, good books to read. And, you know, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And lately I've been kind of watching Got to Go and Itchy Boots. And I used to watch Two Wheels Big Life, but they kind of fell off the end of the earth. Rich and Chris Smith, for, I don't know, 3-4 years. They were on the road. They lived on their motorcycle, traveled all over the United States, and then all of a sudden they just stopped. And it was, I always look forward to their videos because they're very entertaining, very positive, and it was just kind of neat. And Got to Go is really good. She's a gal from, I think, Norway or the Netherlands or someplace not the United States. But hers is really interesting because she travels through, like now she did a thing on the East Coast, and she shows you all the less than common roads. And a lot of them are gravel and dirt, which kind of intrigued me a little bit. So you kind of get ideas on, you know, where you want to go. And I'm kind of thinking we're going to do some trip maybe this summer. I would love to go to Vermont and Maine and the New England states. Looks pretty interesting. And she traveled from Florida all the way up to Maine. So the absolute worst motorcycle book I've ever read, and I read the stupid thing twice, was Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. What a crappy book. I read it once and I couldn't believe how horrible it was. So I decided to read it again just because I thought, well, maybe I interpreted it wrong. There was nothing zenful about it. The guy didn't know a diddly about maintenance. I don't know what the book was about. I just remember his kid went along and they didn't get along. But normally I would go out by the fire at night, sit by my fire, and they got a little pond there with a waterfall, and it's really kind of cool. And I'd read. And I read this thing twice back there, and I thought, you know, I started tearing pages out of it and crinkling up and throwing them in the fire. And I decided the best use for that book is a fire starter. So started a few fires with the book, and then that's it. Would not recommend that book. Just terrible book. Anyway, so I'm gonna drink my coffee here. I think I rambled here about nonsense quite a bit. And I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow. I hope everybody gets around safely. It's going to be busy. And, you know, I thought about, you know, what is a guy thankful for? And here 2 weeks ago, I think we had Veterans Day. And I have to say, I am thankful for our veterans. People like John McCain, who was a prisoner of war for 5 years, was tortured, and never squealed. True hero. And there's many like him. And I think we should all be thankful that we have people like that that allow us to do the stupid stuff we do now. So I am now going to officially drink my coffee. And we'll talk to you later.